In the NHL, if you can't afford to play 80 games a season, there are 100 players waiting to replace you, which is where painkillers come into play. The one common thing between Derek Boogaard, Wade Belak, and Rick Rypien is that they all got addicted to painkillers and not only ended their careers, but also their lives. This is a list of NHL players who suffered from addiction. Number 6. Bobby Ryan. Bobby Ryan's recent arrest for public intoxication at the Nashville International Airport has brought to light his ongoing battle with alcohol addiction. The 35-year-old NHL player, who most recently played for the Detroit Red Wings, was taken into custody on July 25th after an alleged attempt to shoplift and concerns about his well-being. Despite the charges being dismissed and his release 8 hours later, the incident underscores the challenges Ryan continues to face in his struggle with alcoholism.
Eventually it just got to the point where I said I can't do this for a single day anymore before I have to go talk to people.
Ryan has been candid about his journey with alcohol addiction, having entered the joint NHL-NHLPA assistance program for treatment in November 2019. This followed his acknowledgement of a dependence on alcohol. In March 2020, after completing treatment, Ryan made a triumphant return to the ice, scoring 3 goals in his first game back.
Here's Zaitsev scores! Bobby Ryan has the goal!
The recent incident at the airport has revealed that Ryan experienced a relapse, and he took to Twitter to express his regret, acknowledging the gravity of the situation and thanking fans for their support. Alcohol use disorder affects millions of Americans, and Ryan's public struggle sheds light on the ongoing challenges individuals face in maintaining sobriety. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism reports that nearly 15 million Americans aged 12 and older had alcohol use disorder in 2019, and around 95,000 people in the U.S. die annually from alcohol-related causes. Ryan's openness about his relapses serves as a reminder of the complexities of addiction and the importance of continued support for those in recovery. As he navigates this setback, Ryan has expressed his intention to respond to the overwhelming support he has received, emphasizing the impact of social media in fostering connections and understanding during difficult times. Number 5. Derek Boogaard.
Boogaard down the wing. Boogaard bombs away. Score!
Derek Boogaard, the formidable 6'8" enforcer for the New York Rangers, met a tragic end on May 13, 2011, when he was discovered dead in his Minneapolis apartment. An autopsy revealed that Boogaard had succumbed to an accidental overdose of oxycodone and alcohol. Subsequent examination of his brain exposed the presence of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a degenerative brain disease associated with repetitive head injuries. Boogaard's life and struggles, including his battle with addiction, were extensively documented in a series of articles by the New York Times in 2011. Boogaard's addiction was exacerbated by a substantial supply of pain pills from team doctors, obtained even as he was enrolled in the NHL's substance abuse program for treatment. This pattern continued when Boogaard joined the Rangers in 2010. Seeking additional sources for pills, Boogaard was introduced to Jordan Hart through fellow Rangers teammate Brandon Proust. Hart later admitted to selling prescription painkillers to Boogaard on multiple occasions, with the final transaction occurring approximately 2 weeks before Boogaard's tragic death. The legal proceedings against Hart, who pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge, have left the Boogaard family dissatisfied, emphasizing the broader challenges of accountability in addressing addiction-related issues in professional sports. Number 4. Kevin Stevens. Kevin Stevens' descent into addiction is a tragic tale that mirrors the highs and lows of an illustrious sports career. The narrative begins with Stevens as the embodiment of the American dream, a star athlete who rose from a blue-collar family to become an Olympian and an NHL star. However, a devastating on-ice injury in 1993, where his forehead was crushed, marked the beginning of a tumultuous journey.
Into the near corner, the Islanders in, and Stevens with a booming check in on Belak. Stevens hurt himself on that play.
The physical trauma led to a descent into addiction, starting with painkillers prescribed during his recovery, but eventually spiraling into the world of cocaine and opioids. The story vividly portrays the insidious nature of addiction, as Stevens, once a celebrated figure on the ice, found himself entangled in a web of substance abuse. His struggles were not only physical, but also psychological, as he grappled with the shame, fear, and loneliness that accompanied his fall from grace.
I had to have phones and they hear us talking about things, and being in that world, I was just, doing what everybody else does, but, obviously I was doing something wrong. I paid the price for it.
Despite attempts to hide his drug use from teammates and the public, the consequences became inevitable, culminating in his arrest for dealing oxycodone in 2016. This moment marked what Stevens hoped would be rock bottom, prompting him to seek one last chance at redemption and recovery. Stevens' journey serves as a cautionary tale about the far-reaching consequences of addiction, impacting not only his career, but also his relationships and family life. The stark contrast between the pinnacle of his hockey success and the depths of his addiction underscores the pervasive and destructive nature of substance abuse, providing a poignant reflection on the fragility of personal resilience in the face of overwhelming challenges. If you're still here, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get to the top 3. Number 3, Colin Wilson.
He's got Soderberg on the near side. Holds up, there's Colin Wilson. Backhand shot, he scores! No, he didn't do that.
Colin Wilson's courageous and candid revelation about his battle with addiction sheds light on the often unspoken struggles that athletes, even those at the pinnacle of their careers like NHL players, can face. In his heartfelt account, Wilson openly discusses his reliance on substances such as Ambien and cocaine as a means to cope with the profound challenges posed by his severe case of OCD. His vulnerability underscores the pervasive impact of mental health issues within the sports community, emphasizing the need for empathy, understanding, and a destigmatized conversation around addiction. Wilson's story also highlights the broader crisis of addiction, particularly in the context of the opioid epidemic and its devastating consequences. The intersection of mental health struggles and substance abuse, as evidenced by Wilson's experience, underscores the importance of comprehensive support systems and treatment options for individuals grappling with these complex issues. By sharing his journey, Wilson not only confronts his own past.
In using the medicine and using psilocybin, it brought up a lot of things that later on, when I really went after my OCD, with a therapist as well,
but advocates for a more compassionate and informed approach to addiction within society and professional sports. The stigma surrounding addiction is a pervasive barrier that often prevents individuals from seeking help, especially in the hyper-competitive and scrutinized world of professional athletics. Wilson's call for a more open dialogue, both within sports and society at large, encourages a shift in perspective. As he pursues a degree in psychology, Wilson aims to contribute actively to the battle against addiction, turning his personal struggles into a platform for advocacy and education. His commitment to making a difference reflects the resilience required in the ongoing journey of recovery and serves as an inspiration for others facing similar challenges. Number 2, Rick Ripien. Rick Ripien's tragic death at the age of 27 has brought attention not only to the challenges faced by professional athletes, but also to the complex issue of addiction within the hockey community.
He knew that. We're there for you day and night, and don't hesitate to call. And we'd honestly be disappointed if something would have happened and he didn't call.
While the circumstances surrounding Ripien's death were described as sudden and non-suspicious by the RCMP, the struggles he faced with personal issues, including bouts of depression, had been well documented throughout his career. Ripien's passing highlighted the demanding nature of the professional hockey world and the toll it can take on players' mental health. The pressures to perform, coupled with the physicality of the sport, often lead players to cope with pain, both physical and emotional. In Ripien's case, his battles with depression and personal challenges were intertwined with his career, shedding light on the delicate balance players must maintain between their personal lives and the demands of professional sports. As the hockey world grapples with the loss of yet another player, there is a growing recognition that addiction and mental health challenges are pervasive issues that need to be openly addressed and tackled. Rypien's story serves as a sad reminder of the importance of prioritizing players' well-being and fostering an environment where they feel supported in seeking help for their mental health struggles and addiction issues. Number 1, Wade Belak.
Once was bad enough, twice was shocking, and now for the third time since May, an NHL player has died. The body of Wade Belak was found this afternoon in Toronto.
Former NHL enforcer Wade Belak, who had played for 5 teams in his career before retiring in March, was discovered dead on August 31, 2011, in a Toronto hotel and condo complex. The Nashville Predators, Belak's last team, were informed of his death by NHL security, expressing shock and sadness in an official statement. Belak, aged 35, had recently retired and was slated to work as a sideline reporter for Nashville television broadcasts in the upcoming season. The Toronto police spokesman stated that foul play was not suspected in the ongoing investigation. Wade Belak had an extensive career, playing for Colorado, Calgary, Toronto, and Florida, with Nashville being his final team. Throughout 549 NHL games, he accumulated 1,263 penalty minutes and scored 33 points. The circumstances surrounding the deaths of NHL enforcers raised concerns within the hockey community, prompting discussions about the mental and emotional challenges faced by players in such roles.
But until we know what Wade Belak caused his death, I guess we can't really tie all three together.
Belak's passing added to the growing awareness of the difficulties retired enforcers might encounter, shedding light on the broader issue of mental health and well-being in the sport. For more NHL content, click the video on the screen after you like, subscribe, and leave a comment with the other tragic reasons players' careers ended.